Picture this. You are in business school, surrounded by a bunch of tryhards trying to get these corporate jobs, and they're trying to join clubs and get the best grades and do networking. Ugh. Such a dirty word. Hate that. And they're devoting all of this time and energy for what? To be successful, or at least the traditional terms in the sense of the word. And fuck that. Like, I don't understand why you would work for someone else at a big company, helping them get rich, just so you can have basically no freedom and be told what to do. Yeah, not for me. So literally in desperation, because I knew what I didn't want to do, I literally was trying to figure out something that aligned with my passions and curiosities, and luckily I stumbled upon UI UX, or otherwise known as web and app designing. And I then taught myself everything I know to date from YouTube and a couple online resources, and then stumbled upon a client that has been funding me for the last year and a bit. And in this video, I want to share exactly how I did that, so you can maybe pull out some knowledge to mimic the same thing in your own life. So to really understand things, we gotta go back 4 years. I'm in second year of university. I'm a complete stoner, meaning I smoke the ganja every single day, multiple times a day, and I basically sit on my ass, party, and that's really it. But I was still in business school, and I had to decide one of the streams that I was gonna go into. There's 4 main ones, which is finance, accounting, consulting, and marketing. I chose the last one because it seemed the most interesting, because I can be creative in that space. So, in spite of that, it was the summer, and I joined a startup company as an intern to explore that marketing area by making videos, ads, and doing some online social media marketing. And that was great and all, but I actually made friends with the UI UX designer, and he was telling me how he learned from this thing called Google Material Design, which I didn't know what the heck was. And he said how you can basically design using this framework and then use a thing called Webflow, and you can find clients, make websites for them, and start making bank. And upon learning that, I looked into designing with Sketch. I started looking at some videos on Webflow's University, playing around a little bit, but then the lazy ass that I was in second university, I quit and just forgot about it. Now, fast forward 2 more years. I'm in 4th year of university. I had joined a couple school clubs where I had learned more about making websites on WordPress, did a little more work on Sketch, and designed some websites on Squarespace. Now, I needed to show something for myself because I was just about to graduate. It was November at the time, so we have like 4 to 5 months until I'm out the door in the real world. And yeah, I didn't have a job yet, so I was pretty stressed out because majority of the people in my program were already set up and good to go. So what did I do? I started devouring YouTube again and figuring out how I could get rich as fast as possible because I wanted to start traveling the world, and that's what I had told myself I was going to do since I was in first day of university. So I started a drop shipping store. It was called Coolene, and we basically sold kitchen equipment. I did that for like a month and a bit, ran like $600 of ads, made like $200, and then again, what did I do? I quit. And at that point, I was really at rock bottom. I didn't know what the heck to do, so I literally started journaling, and I was like, okay, what value can I provide? Well, this entire time, I like tech, and I've been making websites. Why don't we do that? I can do that online. I can still figure out how to travel. And so I basically just started going with that and went back to the original thing that my friend had told me, started learning about material on their website, and then started looking at various YouTube channels like The Future and Flux that taught me how to do color and typography and design systems and reach out to clients. Then in a complete desperation to find some clients, I started cold calling people in my local area to update their websites and started messaging people on various social media sites that I looked up to, trying to add value in any way that I could. And I finally got my foot in the door with a mutual friend that connected me with someone. So I got an Instagram DM, and immediately in that moment, I was like, shit, Michael, here's your chance. Value. Add value. Don't fuck this up, because if you fuck this up, you're screwed. And this is the exact message I sent. And from that point, I started doing some free work for a couple weeks because I literally had no portfolio. I had nothing. I was very much so a beginner. I just kind of knew the space and was interested and hungry. And then that turned into a project, which was a quite sizable amount. And then it has now evolved into a monthly retainer where I provide software design skills every single month. And see, the story doesn't end here because it was a pivotal moment. I could do the same thing that I did before, and now stuff is tough again. I have to learn a shit ton. I have to evolve. I could give up like I did before, but instead I realized, okay, no, I have to sit down and grind. So honestly, I made a lot of sacrifices. I basically didn't party, didn't do any, I guess, quote unquote fun stuff or stupid stuff anymore. I was extremely diligent, and my social life definitely took a toll. But yeah, I worked my ass off, and I learned an insane amount from Dribble, from basically various other inspiration and websites out there. And I used this idea of steal like an artist from Austin Kleon. So I essentially was pulling inspiration from various different areas and mixing them and combining them to create creativity and new experiences. And luckily, this whole thing 2 years later, or almost 2 years later, worked out, and I'm still doing this UI UX work, and I still really enjoy it. So what does this really mean for you? One, please just go deep in the stuff that you're doing. Don't give up so early like I definitely did multiple times. Even my mother told me that I would do this all the time as a kid. And this was like the first time that I actually didn't give up and I was able to get the effects of compound interest. And then second, potentially mimic the same thing if you want to learn more about UI UX. I'm going to have more videos about this in the future, but the whole thing kind of started from learning material design, which is the gold standard of the web. And if you're interested more about that, I'm going to be making a video next week all about that. If it's out, feel free to check it out here, but it's literally can be a foundation for you to actually start your UI UX career. So yeah, feel free to check it out. If not, I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.